This is Miami All Access.
Awesome opportunity to go up to Ann Arbor and play. It was everything kind of you hoped it would be going up there. The kids were excited. You never know how they're going to react, but they were just excited to play, and they were focused to play. There was no, worried a little bit about jitters or the moment, but there was none. They were ready to play. They were excited. You could tell they were calm. They were trying to do things the right way. Plan going in was to try to shorten the game a little bit. The plan going in was definitely to manage the game much better than we managed it the first 2 weeks, and particularly the second week against EKU, where obviously the negative plays and the turnovers offense, they gave us no chance to win a football game. So that was a big priority. Unfortunately, we throw an interception early. We don't do a good job holding our line. We're still, the timing of our passing game and the trust in our passing game has a ways to go. Where the quarterback wants to throw the ball and where the receiver is going to be isn't always the same, as we're learning as we go, and the receivers are learning that if he doesn't know where to throw it, it's hard to complete the ball. So we have a key turnover, and they pounce out 10-0 on us. And obviously they got all the momentum. We regroup. Our defensive run defense was outstanding the whole game. We had some misfits in the second half, which allowed Michigan, particularly on the last drive, to run the ball. But we really did a nice job stopping the run and giving ourselves a chance on defense. And then we settled in on offense. We at least started moving the ball forward. We stopped the negative plays. And then we get a key interception from Q. We turn it into 3 points. You'd like to get 7, but at least we get it to 10-3, and we're managing the game. We're not turning it over. We're not going backwards. Then we get a nice play on the kickoff. We're trying to keep the ball away from Northfleet, who's a dangerous return guy, and we had a variety of different things that Coach Hauser had schemed up to move the ball around and try to keep the return team off balance. And we get a nice little bounce, and we get some unbelievable effort on the play of flying to the football, and we get on it, and then we turn that into 7. And now you're 10-10, and we kind of talk about whether the early storm, they're coming off a bad loss, they're going to be ready to roll. They're going to have a long week of practice just like we did as far as intensity. And then right before the half, we misfit a couple runs, credit to Michigan, but plays that we had been stopping, and they have a short, quick drive to go up 17-10, but you still feel pretty good. And our kids' confidence at halftime, we try to convince them they could play with these guys, that they, there was going to be some mismatches, but they weren't going to be as big as you'd think they were. And I think at halftime our kids believed. And then, we have 3 possessions in the third quarter with a chance to tie it, and we don't get next to anything going in those possessions. We got a little going, but not enough. And then our eyes in man coverage, we're in man coverage, and they fake a screen pass and run a wheel route, and we cut a guy loose. And again, we talked about making them earn it on defense and not giving it away on offense. And there's another instance in a 17-10 game, we just give away a 50-yard touchdown for no reason. And if they would have beat us one-on-one, I can certainly live with that. I can't live with us not guarding a guy. And we were in the right call because we're in man. They're trying to fake a screen and throw a launch play, and you want to be in man coverage so you don't see the fake. In zone sometimes it's difficult because people see the quarterback pump it. You shouldn't even see the quarterback pump it, but unfortunately we did, and we gave away an easy one. We're still in it. We drive down. We've got the ball inside their 30, and we had a chance. 2 big plays offensively. We had a chance on Rowe on a post route, and he was open, and we had 7-man protection against 4 again, and we didn't protect our quarterback, and Andrew gets hit on 4th down, and we got a guy open probably for a touchdown if Andrew can hit him, which he's pretty good at hitting open guys, and we'd be 24-17 with about 8 minutes to go in the game. We didn't get it there, and then they had a good drive. They motioned us a little bit, and we didn't fit up versus a motion. They kind of plotted down the field and put the game away. So better showing, obviously more like the Marshall game from our compete level and our focus level. Had a chance on the road in the big house to win a football game. Disappointed we didn't, because there was opportunities there to do it, and there was plays to be made, and that we got to make the plays. And we knew we weren't going to have a ton of opportunities offensively. Twice we had guys open for potential touchdowns, and neither time we got our quarterback protected. And again, you go to Ann Arbor, you don't expect you're going to have 30 opportunities for big plays. You got to make them when you can. And so good run defense. We got to get better in man coverage, and offensively, we got to keep moving forward. We got a long, long ways to go on offense from run game and protection, but at least we limited the negativity on offense and gave our team a chance to win a football game, which we didn't a week ago.
You got UC on the schedule next up. How do you feel about your chances against them, and what have you seen from the tape and play-wise?
Well, big thing is obviously one of the most explosive first halves offensively you'll ever see. I mean, it was crazy. It was 2- and 3-play drives over and over and over. Occasionally hit some big plays, but they were just marching down the field and not even really driving the ball. It was bing, 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 touchdown, bing, bing, touchdown. You know, so obviously a lot of weapons on their offense. From their quarterback, who's big, strong-arm kid that can whip the ball around, make any throw he wants to make, to a bunch of receivers, running backs, linemen, tight end. They got the whole deal going offensively. And then defensively, they really handled a very talented Toledo offense in the first half. And, you know, I think they kind of went in the locker room and let their guard down a little bit in the third quarter. And Toledo, we know, is very capable of offensive production in a hurry, and Toledo came out smoking the second half and kind of got themselves back in the game. And then once they did, Cincinnati kind of started to play again. So they're big, strong, and athletic everywhere. You know, they've got different players from different parts of the country. Transfer middle linebacker from Florida State was one of the top players in the country coming out of high school. Now he's sitting at Cincinnati playing middle backer. So they've got a lot of talent everywhere, and they're fast and athletic, and you don't have a lot of time to react defensively because of their speed on the perimeter and how strong an arm their quarterback is. And then you don't have a lot of time offensively because, you know, their one defensive end is up for the, you know, lineman of the year preseason, rushed the quarterback. He hit Toledo's quarterback a bunch. It wasn't pretty to watch. So they've got a ton of athletes, a ton of size. Our biggest thing is, again, can we manage the game? Can we not turn the ball over? Can we not go backwards? Can we execute and make the plays that are there to make? You know, and then defensively, can we not give up big plays? Can we make them drive the football? All right, and if we do that, I think we got a chance to get this game in the second half and a chance to win the football game. If we don't do that, we won't win the football game.
You mentioned Gunnar Keel, another kid that you coached at Notre Dame. How much did you recruit him? How well do you know him?
Know him, the family well, right. Awesome kid, very competitive kid, comes from a great family, great high school player, was the #1 rated quarterback in the country. As I was watching him throw 6 touchdowns in his first collegiate start, and I've watched what Andrew Hendrick's done for us, and I've watched what Everett Golson's doing, and I know Malik Zaire's behind Everett Golson, and I said somebody Friday night, I said, we did a pretty good job recruiting quarterbacks in Notre Dame because there's a number of them that are playing football at a really high level right now. There's one in Miami that's playing pretty darn good. There's one at UC that probably set up for, I can't imagine any first game. Sorry, UC threw 6 touchdowns, so he probably set some records in his first game. And obviously the guys at Notre Dame are playing some pretty good football. So he's very talented and he's very competitive, and he obviously was a great player in high school that at times willed his team to win. So he's obviously going to be a handful for us, and was a handful for Toledo last Friday night.
I'm sure the losing streak has been mentioned in the locker room and such. You've also lost 8 straight against UC. Will that be mentioned as well?
No, I mean we're not going to talk about the losing streak. Our thing is we got to get better. We know the areas. It's talking about winning is different than preparing to win, you know. And our kids want to win, and they're playing hard and they're competing harder. We're not playing smart enough, you know. And some of it is focus and some of it's preparation, which is still our biggest Achilles heel. Is our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday isn't good enough. It's not bad, but it's not good enough, and it's definitely not consistent enough. And then the other piece is still within our systems. Michigan does something on the second to last drive, and we really, from a coaching staff, no big deal. From a players, they hadn't been, you know, they started motioning some guys from the field, and it was a little bit different. And our kids right now don't react to different. If we haven't prepared for it, they don't know our systems well enough. Well, that's how we handle that, you know. So there's always on both sides of the balls these lessons that we're encountering game after game. We're still going to be countering week 12. There's going to be something that OU throws at us week 12 that we haven't seen. It's going to be new for our kids in this system. It won't be new for our coaches. We'll be saying, well, that's simple. You just do this. But our kids will be like, well, if we haven't repped it a bunch right now, we're still in that. Like I said, we're basically coaching all freshmen, and that's what happens when you have transition. You have a new staff, and that's why it takes typically a little bit of time to build it. Year 3, if Michigan does what they did on that last drive, we would have handled it. I would like to think we're going to handle it this week. But if you have a bunch of guys, even if you haven't practiced it, they've got stuff in their memory bank, and we're still dealing with that. You know, there's signs. You know, we ran a route. Sam Martin ran a route in the first quarter that we've been trying to run for 3 straight weeks against a corner blitz, and first 2 weeks we couldn't identify corner blitz and run the route right. Then this week we did, and Sam ran right by the safety. We had a chance for a 70-yard touchdown, and we still don't get the protection right. But there's signs of kids, like we tried to do this first 2 weeks, and we were very upset we couldn't recognize something and react to it, which that's football. They don't tell you what they're going to do defensively or offensively. You have to see it, read it, and react to it. And then week 3, you have a receiver do it, and you say, okay, we're getting better, right? But we didn't get the protection. We got the protection called, right? We just didn't get it protected, right? And so you get all the pieces of the puzzle, you start making the play, and those are the things that change the game. A 70-yard touchdown in the first quarter changes the game, but you miss that opportunity, you don't get that opportunity back. So there's a huge learning curve, but there's also a preparation issue, which we've talked about and you know about, that we have to show up to work on Monday to win a football game. Not Saturday morning, we were ready to go play Michigan, but we got to show up Monday like we show up Saturday. Our compete level during the game, I like. Our compete level during the week is a long ways from what a championship team would do.
How's the team doing health-wise? I know Washington's missed a few games. How are they looking?
Yeah, health-wise, we're for 3 games in, and obviously 2 of them being very physical games. The Marshall and Michigan game were really physical football games. We're doing good. We're doing good, and we're holding up better. And just going into the season, we're in great shape. And those are all the things that people don't understand. Like, we're such a beat-up football team. The changes we've made in our kids' schedule and the weight training program and the summer program have, we went into camp so much healthier than we've ever been because we were more physically prepared than we've ever been, at least in a while around here. And then we're holding up better because our kids are stronger. Are they as strong as we need to be? No, we're not, but at least we're physically holding up better because we're not having as many shoulders and everything else that we've really had to deal with in the past because we weren't physically ready to play Division I football.
The plan is to put up more than 80 yards of offense this week, right? As opposed to what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, the first plan is to not go backwards and not turn over. If we not turn a ball over and we don't penalize ourselves and we get 80 yards, I still think it'd be a step forward. So we have, our issues right now haven't been we can get some yardage, but there's other things we're focused on cleaning up offensively than worrying about the almighty yards. We got to execute our plays. And if we call protection, we got to run the protection. If we call a run play, we got to run it right and block right, and our backs got to run it right. We didn't run the ball, obviously, in Michigan at all. Times we couldn't block them, I got that. There's times we blocked them good enough, and our backs didn't run the run play the way we're supposed to run. They got a little skittery, and they cut back for no reason, and there was some yardage front, not gaping yardage, but there was some 5 to 7 yard gains even against Michigan, but it's all a learning process for everybody. So,
Coach, can you talk about the rivalry? Has anybody talked to you about the Miami-UC rivalry at all, and what do you know about it?
Yeah, the biggest thing is when you come to Miami, every single person that's an alum talks about Cincinnati and OU, so you learn about it immediately. It's just, and we have so many alums from this area, this greater Cincinnati area, that they live it all year round. At work there's Cincinnati people and there's Miami people, so it's one of those that every day, if you come out on top, you get 364 days. But it's very important to our school, it's very important to our alumni base, and pretty much every time you meet somebody new, within the first 5 minutes of the conversation, they mention about beating Cincinnati and how important it is. So you realize in a short period of time that this is a very intense rivalry and very important to our alumni base and to our university, that you go there and you find a way to win a football game.
Is there a different intensity at all when you're talking to the players about when this week comes up, or is it just the same?
We're trying to get a different intensity every week. So we're not to the point where we have an intensity level and then we raise our intensity level for our big rival. We don't necessarily super believe in that. Like, we'd like to practice at a level that we're going to win a game and be a championship program. When you do that, you don't practice harder for your rivals than your non-rivals. You practice hard for everybody all the time, and that's what we're used to. That's not where we're at, 3 weeks in here. We used to make fun of teams that, would say, we really, we're playing you guys and we're really practice hard this week. And I look at our kids, I say, we practice hard every week. So they're practicing hard because we're their rival? Like, I don't get that. They've got no chance, because if they're practicing harder this week than they did last week, we practiced hard last week, so we've got a decided advantage. Now, we are not there yet. That's where we need to get to if we're going to get this program where we want it.